So the UK is going all in on green energy, right? But here's a thought. What if the biggest hurdle isn't just building more wind farms, but actually controlling the entire system? Today, we're going to dig into the invisible challenge of orchestrating the UK's massive power grid.
For the longest time when we talked about green energy, it was all about one thing: generation. How do we make more of it? How do we build it faster? But a much bigger, much trickier question is starting to pop up. What if the real challenge isn't making the power, but managing the sheer chaos it's creating on our grid?
And that brings us to this kind of crazy situation. The very same technology that's supposed to be saving the planet is also making our energy grid incredibly complicated and unbelievably expensive to manage. Picture the old grid, right? It was like a neat little string quartet. You had a few big power stations playing a very predictable, very steady tune. Simple. But the new grid? Whoa. It's like a massive, sprawling, chaotic orchestra with millions of individual instruments. Your neighbor's solar panels, your electric car, that battery in your garage, all starting and stopping whenever they feel like it.
And this is what that chaos actually looks like. We're swapping out a handful of reliable, steady power plants for millions of tiny, unpredictable ones. And that creates a ginormous control problem. The power isn't always on when you need it, the grid's wires get clogged up, and our ability to balance everything, what the pros call flexibility, gets shattered into a million little pieces.
Okay, so this isn't just some abstract problem for engineers to worry about. No, this complexity, it has a very, very real price tag. And we're not talking small change. We're talking billions.
Get a load of this number, 1.8 billion pounds. That is the forecast for what it will cost just to manage grid congestion in 2025. I mean, think about that. It's like paying to shut down a highway because there are too many cars. We are literally spending billions of pounds to pay wind farms to stop making clean energy. It's insane.
And it doesn't stop there. On top of that, we're spending another 1.1 billion pounds on what are called balancing services. That's the frantic second-by-second scramble to make sure supply perfectly matches demand, just to keep the whole system from completely crashing. So you're probably asking, where is all this cash going? Is there one single thing to blame? The short answer is no. It's a system-wide mess. The data's all over the place, nobody's sharing information properly, and worst of all, there's no single person or thing that has a real-time, coordinated view of what's going on. Okay, so if our new green grid is this wild, chaotic orchestra, what does it need? Well, it needs a conductor, right? Not a person waving a little stick, but a powerful digital brain. And that's exactly the idea behind a platform called Energy OS. So what is this thing? Well, at its heart, this system from Breakwater Technology is meant to be a new operational layer for the entire grid. It's built to do three main things. First, to understand the state of the whole system with something called a world model. Second, to decide the smartest actions to take with an orchestration engine. And third, to translate all that complexity to human operators using a natural language LLM interface. Let me break that down for you. The world model is the brain. It sees and understands everything happening on the grid, all in real time. The orchestration engine, those are the hands. It's the part that actually carries out the decisions. And the LLM interface, that's the voice. It translates all that super complex data into simple, clear advice that a human operator can actually use. Now that first part, the world model, that's the real game changer here. It's what makes this whole thing different from anything else out there. So let's really dig into what that means. You've probably heard the term digital twin, right? Well, think of a digital twin like a perfect photograph of the grid. It's a snapshot that tells you exactly what things look like right now. A world model, though, that's more like a super advanced weather forecast. It takes all the current data and uses it to predict what the grid is going to look like in the next minute, the next hour, or even tomorrow. So you can see how it works here. You've got all this real-world data pouring in from the bottom, everything from market prices to the laws of physics. It all feeds into this world model. But the really clever part is that it doesn't just spit out one single answer. It gives you a range of what might happen, and even tells you how certain or uncertain it is about its own predictions.
Okay, so we've got this awesome, predictive digital brain. Super cool in theory, right? But how does it actually fix those billion-pound problems we were just talking about?
Well, it really boils down to creating value in four key ways, both for helping energy companies make money and, just as importantly, for saving the entire system from wasting it. First up, it gets a handle on that congestion problem. so we stop wasting perfectly good renewable energy. Second, it coordinates all those electric vehicles, so we don't blow a fuse when everyone plugs in their car at 6 p.m. Third, and this is huge, it actually verifies that when someone promises to use less power to help the grid, they really do it. And finally, it makes the whole grid tougher by running virtual fire drills to plan for the absolute worst-case scenarios.
So when you put it all together, the big idea is to finally tame that chaotic orchestra we talked about. It's about taking millions of unpredictable little energy sources and turning them into one big, reliable, professional-grade tool for managing the grid. As the company itself puts it, the platform turns distributed flexibility into an operator-grade resource with measurable system impact.
And that really leaves us with a huge question, doesn't it? We're spending billions and billions on the hardware of our green future. The wind turbines, the solar panels, the batteries. But what if the most important investment isn't in all that steel and silicon? What if it's in the invisible software brain that's needed to make it all work together?